Good afternoon, folks. My name is David Reese, and I'm an author who focuses primarily on science fiction and fantasy. I'm the author of three moderately successful novels, but after I finished that trilogy, my progress ground to a halt. It's been nearly a year, and I've completed nothing. Part of that long lapse is due to changes in my home and work environment, and part of it can be blamed on illness and injuries. But the truth is that in the end, all blame falls on my shoulders. There were obstacles in my path, and I let myself to be stopped by them. That habit needs to end now. This is Breaking the Slump, an author's journey. My goal for these videos is partially to hold myself accountable as I move forward, but also to help others understand my process and maybe, if I'm lucky, help others to identify issues that are holding them back as well and figure out how to overcome them. During the course of these videos, I intend to identify and attempt to address the physical and emotional issues that have been interfering with my ability to write. I'd like to start by mentioning some of the issues that I'm hoping to address. First is the issue of distractions. I'm one of those people that has a great deal of difficulty with being distracted when I'm entering into a concentrated flow state, that mental state where the ideas and the words just keep coming quickly. And I used to be able to achieve that very easily when I had an area where I could get complete silence. I'd wait until all my housemates were asleep, and I'd work in the den where it was on a concrete slab that was separated by walls and insulation from the rest of the household. When we moved, I set up a home office, but the new area is a lot closer to the other bedrooms, and honestly, due to changes in my work environment, I also have less time to work late at night when everyone else is asleep. So I'm going to be making changes to my home office and to my work flow in an attempt to deal with it. Eventually, I do intend to build a external full studio in my backyard, but that's a long-term project, and I'd like to get started before then. I suffer from sciatica and peripheral neuralgia, which is a condition where my fingertips, or my extremities in general, get numb. They also ache near constantly, which is an odd combination, but it is what it is. I also injured my shoulders several times, and they were dislocated and still pop out of their socket very easily, which does require my arms to be immobilized. I'm going to be discussing some of the ergonomic changes and lifestyle changes that I'm making to mitigate the effects of this that have been keeping me from writing. As for the psychological / emotional / spiritual aspects of my life that I'm hoping to improve, the truth is that I'm doing pretty well these days. There'd been a time, especially as the slump began, when I'd been very down. I'd lost my cat, my grandmother died. There'd been a series of setbacks on a personal and emotional level that hit me very, very hard. But right now I'm doing pretty well. But even so, there are things I can improve, and the first of which is burying myself in craft projects and creative endeavors, because that has a tendency to build, at least for me. So if I'm having trouble writing, make a model or take up a new hobby, and that will help build my creative drive. And I'll be discussing some of my hobbies and craft projects as these videos move forward. Finally, books. I'm going to be reading at least one book every week, and I'll be posting mini reviews, not just from the perspective of a reader, but also as an author to discuss the techniques and methodologies that other authors use that I found interesting and hope to learn from. Next on my list is Martha Wells' Artificial Condition. I read the first book in this series, The Murderpot Diaries, and I absolutely adored the first book, so I'm hoping that the second book will be as good. My plan is to spend a few weeks in the analysis and implementation of addressing all these issues, setting myself up for success. I'll be discussing my progress as I go, but my hope is to start actually writing my next novel within a month. Wish me luck.